Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm gonna be reacting to Chainsaw Man chapter 142. But before that, like always, let's talk a little bit about last chapter 141, Normal Life Plus. So in this one, there was like 10, maybe? Yeah, like, okay, 8 pages without dialogue. Yeah, and I kinda love that. Because Fujimoto, I do think he really excels at doing, you know, just focusing on visual storytelling without dialogue. And here he did succeed on what I feel like he was trying to convey. Also, just does anyone think that, like, did anyone get vibes from like that one scene from Spider-Man 2? When Peter Parker like cannot use his powers at the time, so he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna, the city doesn't need Spider-Man. I'm just gonna leave it to like the cops, the firefighters, and all that to take care of what I usually do." And we just get a montage of him, walking around the city, just being in class and all that. Wait, with the song in the background, I was feeling a bit of a similar vibe here. But of course, Peter Parker was smiling and actually like kind of feeling a little bit of like that weight of that he doesn't have to be everyone's hero. Although you know that in the back of his mind, he's like, no, but I want to go back to doing that. Here is very clear that Denji's not really being fulfilled by having what most people would agree is a normal life. Well, at least what we see in the chapter. He goes to buy groceries with Nayuta. They buy some Chainsaw Man curry buns that are half off. And he just looks at them. You do gotta wonder, even though, he's a very avid buyer of Chainsaw Man merch, it's also just kind of weird, that uh, people just do. Well, even before the church got the fake Saw Man to go public, people were already doing Chainsaw Man merch without, you know, him not having to do anything about it. And just it has to be a little bit weird how people just treat him as a celebrity, even though they only know how he looks when he's Chainsaw Man. Then they go walking back towards their house and they see a devil. I don't know what kind of devil this could be. The frog devil. But it is curious that even though I said Denji did not seem to be fulfilled in this sequence, the truth is that he can just have moments of happiness when he's just doing mundane stuff with family member. And we see that both him and Naita were smiling right before that devil showed up. But the moment that he sees it, he's about to go and pull his ripcord, but then he remembers, oh right, I don't have to do this, and I shouldn't do it. And then the moment that he pauses, he says, I think I said that last chapter that it was Devil Hunting Club members, maybe? Which, I mean, at this point, I think the Devil Hunting Club and the church are pretty much the same. But yeah, I think it's more so the church. And once he sees that he's not needed, he just continues walking. But it's interesting to note that he starts, going on the opposite direction with, definitely no longer smiling like he was doing like 2 pages before. And Naita most definitely realizes that his demeanor changes. Then they go home, they eat some of the curry buns, they hang out with the dogs, they watch some TV. Denji takes a bath with a dog, and he brushes his teeth with Nayuta, and they're just. Well, Nayuta is hugging him while she's asleep, but he's just not. He's just not able to go to sleep. And so he just sits up and looks very much like, I wouldn't say deep in thought, but like there definitely seems he seems to have a very nagging feeling in the back of his head that there's something eating at him that doesn't let him get to be enough in like a peace of mind in order to go to sleep. And then after that, he just stares at a Chainsaw Man poster that he has, and that's when Naita starts speaking. Can't sleep? Hey, what's gonna happen to me from here on out? I'm still thinking like, damn, that's these are some big, difficult questions for a kid that seems younger than him. But it's still like he has no one else to talk to this. Yes. After I graduate and get a job, will I be happier than I am now? Of course, Naruto doesn't really have an answer to that, so she responds with another question. Are you unhappy, Denji? I don't know. Yeah, because that's just something so difficult to grasp. But at the same time, he's not fully, giving up on being happy. But he just doesn't know how to get there or to stay happy. It's just, yeah, that's relatable. But it's more so that he thought that being Chainsaw Man would make him happy, but yeah, I don't think that was it. But regardless, if he thought that would bring him happiness, he wasn't allowed to do it anyway. So he made the sacrifice for Nayuta. You're hopeless, little Denji. I'll stay with you for the rest of your life. And then he just turns to look at her. Then you'll be happy too, right? Because I'm just that cute. And Denji doesn't... I was gonna say it looks taken aback. But he's just a little surprised and he's kind of like taking in what she just said. And even though I think she's being very honest, it's just, I'm just thinking, man, is she gonna remember this the day after? Considering she's not even saying this with her eyes closed, so I don't think she's necessarily like fully aware of what exactly, how big what she's saying is. But also you gotta wonder, like, yes, Nayuta and Denji, just by what we've seen through this part, they're fairly wholesome, and they genuinely seem to want what's best for the other. But at the same time, Denji just has to feel a little bit of a type of way. That Nayuta used to be the control devil, specifically in Makima. Like, the link between them is just something that you just cannot be like, yes, they're two different people, but in Denji's mind, there's gotta be something where it's like, like sometimes what Naruto does or says most definitely have to be reminding him of that. And just there's just an inherent complication in this relationship that I feel should be explored. So that I feel like that's a big reason why Denji has such a hard time saying no to her. Because, his affection for Makima never truly went away. But at the same time, maybe he also feels guilty. That he just, you know, he just feels guilty that he killed Makima, so therefore he wants Nayuta in, to be so much better than what Makima had. But also at the same time, it's like, feel self-guilt, in the sense of like, well, why do I feel like this? Am I shitty for thinking, that I want this for the control devil when the last reincarnation killed everyone close to me? So I don't know. I would hope and want for that to be brought up at some point. That said, though, like, Nayuta is still her own character, and that just her connection to Makima shouldn't just be the thing that it's the only thing about her, which obviously it's not. But at the same time, I don't want that link to her past life to just be forgotten, like, completely. Like, we've seen, like, once, I think, which was when Sugo talked to Denji about being in the fight with the hybrids being controlled by Makima. So Makima was, mentioned to Denji in this part, but we haven't really seen him, deal with what that means in regards to his relationship with Naida. So yeah, looking forward to that, considering, the whole just stay with me for the rest of your life. I would really want it to just be, super sweet and wholesome and all that. And it is. But there's also an underlying, like, darkness to it. And I just feel like it's gonna turn more unhealthy before it can become something more functional, I'm thinking, I'm still wondering how Fujimoto's one-shot Yogen no Naita is going to come into play in regards to the relationship between these two. Like, there's going to be a point where Denji's just gonna have to put his foot down and being like, no, Naita, this is what I want, okay? You're gonna listen to me. I'm your big brother, okay? We don't have to do everything your way. But yeah, once again, Denji just hugs her and just lets the bond he has with her, or the one she has with him, to be the one that just completely reigns in his life. Which I still, I don't feel like that's a good idea. He needs more connections with people. Okay, so we go back to the church, specifically the hybrids. They're at what's the restaurant called? Family Burger? Yeah, they're at Family Burger, and they're discussing very important plans about tomorrow. Yeah, there's Barem, Sugo, the Whip Hybrid, and the Spear Hybrid. And the Spear Hybrid did not contribute anything to this conversation. In fact, we didn't even see his face, which is interesting. He might be the smartest guy on the thing. That's why he didn't say anything. Because, yeah, Barem's plan, I feel like he has some holes in it. Yeah, they're talking about how tomorrow the church um, won't help at exterminating devils. So therefore, the civilian and public safety devil hunters will go in and try to take care of them. And when they do, all the hybrids will try to kill them all. Which I don't think, like, yes, they have two, not two, four hybrids, but it's still, I feel like they're underestimating public safety. Like, yeah, they might not have Makima anymore, but I feel like they should be able to put up a good enough fight for someone to show up. Plus, this is the perfect time for Kishibe to come back to the story. Please. Please. Also, I don't think that Asa would be okay with them doing that, so she might interfere before Denji even hears any word of this. But yeah, they're counting on Chinsume's sense of justice to bring him over in order to come here and, I stop them. I still don't know why, like, oh yeah, we're exterminating devil hunters for all, once and for all. And because Chainsaw Man's justice will be like, no, don't do that. They think how does doing that will make Denji want to join the church. I don't know. I feel like Barem is not the best at coming up with plans. But I don't know. Maybe he's playing for the chess, and I just don't get it. But yeah, Sugo is having a very logical thought, which is, why do we even need to go this far to draw Chainsaw Man out? This feels a little bit extreme. But then the whip tells him to just, get rid of all thoughts for just weapons. And then Sugo says, well, I'm a human, I'm not a weapon. But then Button actually says, basically agrees with both. We're humans and all weapons, but we're also devils. Do you know what these things are in common? They're all hard to spell. I think last time I said, like, oh no, they're not. And I tried to, like, say them. But no, I thought she meant, like, pronounce. But no, she's talking about, yeah, the kanji for them. Makes sense. Human, weapons, and devils were all born to kill. Yeah, that says a lot about Barem as a character. And that's why God will forgive no matter how many people we kill tomorrow. Is this the first time that God has ever been brought up? I feel like I asked that last week, but I'm pretty sure it is. Last 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I wonder if there's a God devil. But also, Baden believes in God? Or is he just being, like, sarcastic or, like, saying these, like, empty words? But yeah, regardless, yeah, no matter what happens, nothing's gonna happen to us, basically, is what he's saying. Okay. So that was my whole discussion on 142 today. So let's just get started with 142. Oh, what? Denji fan club. Clothing and food sale, and something more. Okay. It's like a park. You must be this tall to ride. So, okay. Oh, Nayuta! That's so cute. So Denji took her to a park. I forget the like a theme park. Oh my god, why are you here? Like, I know she's supposed to be the bodyguard, but I hate Fumiko. So you didn't join the Chainsaw Man Church after all. Relax. I'm not turning into Chainsaw Man ever again. That's a shame? I thought it was in your best... No, actually that's what Yoshida wanted. I don't know if public safety in regards to individuals. That's what they want. Turning into Chainsaw Man must feel really good. All the recognition and respect I imagine you get to experience thrills us ordinary people can never get a taste of. Why is she saying this? Like, I know Chainsaw Man fangirl, ugh. But like, yeah, this feels very, against what public safety wants from Denji. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, Yeah, no kidding. I'd rather die than get watched in the bathroom like Chainsaw Man? What are you talking about? Rather than get watched in the bathroom. Wait, what? What is she? What? Say what? I mean, being watched in the bathroom? Huh? Oops. Huh? I wasn't supposed to tell you that? Pretend you never heard it. Are you? Ew, what the fuck? Are you watching him take a shower? Are you for real? That's totally vile. I'll jerk off in there. Yeah, that's fair. That's your own business. No one should be watching you do that. Oh geez, I've really done it now. I'm gonna get in trouble again. Ugh, can we get rid of this character? Seriously, you guys are the lowest of the low. I'm gonna get yelled at for sure. I sure feel low. This is what makes you feel low? Watching me in the bathroom, you're a total stalker? Who don't want to... I cannot... Broken Barem and her hybrids come here so she can be killed? Can she be the only public safety member that they kill? I'm not a stalker, I'm your phone, call me your fan. Ugh, I'm gonna throw up. My fan, not a chance. All the women who come on to hate me, who come on to me hate my guts. Well, sure, I do hate you a tiny bit too, cause Chainsaw Man didn't save my mom and dad. Well, boo fucking who, bro? I do not give a fuck. The time where Chainsaw Man fought the gun fiend. Nah, bro, don't remind me of this. I lived there with my family. We just sat down for dinner when our house was destroyed. When I managed to crawl out of the rubble, Chainsaw Man and the gun fiend were there fighting right before my eyes. I'm sorry, but the pain that Denji was feeling no, I'm sorry. It's just so much more. You do not get to like fucking guilt trip him about this. Ugh. I shouted to Chainsaw Man and begged him to rescue my mom and dad. I wonder if we did go back to that chapter when it happened. Not that I want to. I wonder if we'd go and actually see a character that looks like her. But my voice got drowned out by chainsaw sounds. Chainsaw Man didn't even notice me. Did your mom and dad survive? They died, but you don't need to worry about that. Reason being, I don't see Chainsaw Man as a superhero or a god or any of that. When Chainsaw Man turned back into a human that day, I was watching. You were crying, right? When I saw it, I realized for the first time that the one who's been fighting all this time, while devils kill him over and over again, was just a kid. Why would you say this? You're a 22-year-old grown-ass woman. And you're like, oh yeah, I realize he's just a kid. Motherfucker! That was the moment I made up my mind to save him. Oh, I'm sorry, but that's not possible for you to do that. I'm a huge fan of Denji Senpai, not a Chainsaw Man fan, a Denji Senpai fan. Ugh, bro. It's gonna be so hard to try and talk about this chapter because my bias against Fumiko is just that big. But it is interesting to see Denji's reaction to what she just said. Because obviously, the distinction. Like, regardless of how she means it, which I don't believe her at all. It is important that Denji probably does or might believe it, because he's not going with like I don't believe you, or I don't think that's what you think. But it's interesting that it doesn't seem like he's gonna finish a sentence. Me, I'm a Chainsaw Man fan. Oh boy, those clothes. Barem, what the hell? Look, Barem is most definitely a psychopath. Uh, but man, am I most definitely glad that Denji's no longer just with Fumiko. What's up, dude? What you gonna say? Fumiko looks surprised. Man, Japan's Public Safety Commission is impressive. It was no walk in the park making it here without getting spotted, let me tell you. What do you want? So he starts smoking. Check it out, proof of my fandom, my Chainsaw Man lighter. This guy, bro. And of course, he smokes. He's a flamethrower hybrid. Will you listen to my fan request? Personally, I wanted to see Chainsaw Man fighting. Oh boy, this is gonna be good. I want to see him carving up devils with his chainsaws, getting covered in gore. Suffering and struggling and getting killed, and despite it all, returning to life and getting back up again. Oh. Ooh. Then just looking at him very intently. At first he looked like just, like very on guard. But then after like 3 panels, he's just... I don't know how to decipher that. Moments from now, there will be a devil attack on this building's first floor. Just a hunch. Oh, okay. He's just straight up... okay. That's definitely a way for Denji to be aware that this is happening. They're just gonna tell him. And if I had to guess, the folks down there will soon be shouting, "Save us, Chainsaw Man." Fumiko doesn't really seem to be moving at all to prevent this. Oh boy. Oh. Wow, okay. I really thought that this was gonna happen in this chapter, but nope. The hybrids. Okay, there is whip, spear, and sugo, all there at a food court, and that's where the chapter ends. Damn. I really did not expect another setup chapter right after the way that the last one ended. But obviously this has to be important. I just don't know how. Well, obviously, Fumiko's little speech there towards Denji is going to impact him in some way. Like, there's gotta be a big significance as to why she had that combo with him before Barem showed up, but I can't really figure out. I'm gonna try to try to be neutral about it, try to get something out of it. I'm gonna try to... I'm just not gonna talk about the beginning, very distasteful stuff. But I find this... Okay. We just sat down for dinner. House was destroyed. We managed to crawl out of the rubble. Jason and Goblin were there fighting right before my eyes. It is interesting though. I don't know if I would call this like expanding the world, but it's kind of interesting to see the perspective of someone who was there watching Denji fight the gun fiend, and someone who, you know, just seeing an outsider's perspective that had no idea in the slightest as to this emotional turmoil that was going on between the two of them, inside them. Why Denji had such a hard time putting this specific fiend down. Because otherwise, yeah, if it was not that one specifically, then Denji would not have lasted that much time, like having so much hesitation to kill him. But he did. And that just, yeah, okay. This is probably to like, even though Denji didn't say anything, this is also, that he has to have some sort of just guilt about the people that must have, like, did die that day. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked, did they survive? Though he takes a panel to ask the question. And we don't see his face at all. It makes me feel so bad for him. And like, he has to be like seeing flashes of that day as she was talking to him about it. I realized the first time that the one who's been fighting all this time with all skill again was just a kid. I would have liked to see Denji's reaction or expression when she says, Chainsaw Man is just a kid. To see, like, what he thinks of that. But it doesn't seem like he has, any sort of feelings towards being called that. When Chainsaw Man interacted with me and I was watching, you were crying. I wonder why she didn't ask him about the why. She definitely doesn't have any sort of like reading the room or like caring about reading the room, so I wouldn't have expected her to have any sort of like tact regarding like maybe that was an important person to him, but or just maybe she straight up doesn't care. I don't know how to take that. But yeah, just the way that he reacts after she says that. And not just to the, I'm not just a Chainsaw Man fan, I'm a Denji Senpai fan, which, ugh, Senpai, bitch, please. But also to that was the moment I made up my mind to save him. Because usually Denji wants to help others, but rarely do other people want to help him. Even if this is like super hollow and shallow. I don't think anyone has ever said this to him, like, like spelled it out for this, like, I specifically want to help you. Like, Suho wants to help him, but, he's going about this with the church and very bad methods. And then you have Asa too, but then she doesn't know that she's doing all this because she wants to help him. Because Fami told her that this would help him. And of course, Power and Aki were special, so it was basically, they didn't have to say it. But Denji all from a certain point onwards, he knew that they would always have his back. Oh, until they no longer could. Then we get Barem just plopping in right next to him, casually. But yeah, it seems like just the way that he says there was no walk in the park making it here without getting spotted makes it seem like public safety is still actively looking for the hybrids, which is still begs the question, how did the hybrids leave public safety? Like, I'm still curious about that. How did the hybrids join the church? Who? Okay. And then just being just weird, telling Denji that the lighter is Chainsaw Man and merchandise. And he keeps just blabbering on. Well, I have a fan request. I want to see Chainsaw Man fight. I want to see him do this and that. Because, it's just so... It's just... He doesn't say, specifically, oh, it's like fun or it's inspiring or it's whatever. He just says he just wants to see Chainsaw Man do his thing. Because despite it all returning to life, he can return to life and get back up again. But like, all the hybrids can do that. Unless he means something in regards to Denji's mentality or personality. Not physically, but he can get up no matter what happens to him. And whatever life throws at him emotionally. And then he just spills the beans. There will be a devil attack on this building first floor, blah blah blah. Some people will be shouting that save us, Chainsaw Man. I don't know how to take the face that Fumiko is doing in this panel. Like, he looks like, oh man, that's a shame that those people are gonna die. Instead of like running, I guess she just wants to stay with Denji as a Chainsaw Man fan and being appointed bodyguard. But like, you're public safety, right? Shouldn't you be trying to do something? I mean, regardless, like, I feel like, I don't know. Will Barem try and fight Denji here? Or will he just be waiting here for him to do anything? I don't know. Barem, like, he feels so simplistic at times, but then sometimes I'm like, what is your objective here? Because I really did not expect for Barem to just straight up tell him what it is that was gonna happen. But I guess that just puts Denji on the spot. If he knows right away what's going to happen, that puts him, on the balance. Turn to Chainsaw Man or let a bunch of people die because, I'm trying to live a normal life and therefore no Chainsaw Man for me. He wants to see the choice that Denji will do. After all, I don't think 3 hybrids are necessary to kill normal people. And I still haven't seen any devils attack. Like, wasn't that the plan? Letting devils attack and kill people? And then they were going to kill devil hunters? I don't know. If you have a different reading of the chapter, then do please let me know. But if you enjoyed my reaction, please like and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.